Thanks for joining Dating with Katy today. In today's episode, men and ladies, you're going to love it from both sides of the board. Ladies, I'm going to give you directive on the 4 things that you should be looking for in a man. And men, I want you to listen as well, because these 4 things are going to catapult you towards the woman that you adore and the things that she's going to need from you, so you're going to be successful in courting and building a relationship with her. And I want to make sure that if you guys love this podcast, make sure you give me a heart back, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you send this to a friend or even maybe an ex, because, well, they probably need to hear this stuff too. So let's get started. I want to thank our sponsor today, Sync Matchmaking. That's CINQE.com. Go ahead and check them out. Get in their database, their profiles. I get to see their profiles. They're a matchmaking company, so if you want to become a client, either way, you definitely want to go check out sync.com. All right. So in the dating game of life, everybody seems to be annoyed. Everybody seems to be off track. Everybody seems to complain. There's nobody great out there. Ladies talk about the douchebag guy. Men talk about the crazy woman. And look, at the end of the day, I always say 80% of people out there dating are just kind of fluff. They're in it for the wrong reasons. They haven't done the work, yada, yada, right? So the 20%ers that are out there, this is going to pertain to you guys. Ladies, these are the things that are going to keep you focused on what your goal is. Now, look, most of my followers are post-divorced. If you are still trying to get married, if that is your main goal, if you're young in your 20s, you might be in your 50s and 60s. It doesn't matter. Across the board, this is what makes men great. When men behave in these ways, when you create a standard list of just these 4 simple rules, it's really going to give you focus and set you apart, even as a female, because you're going to know what you want. And men, it's going to set you apart indefinitely, because you are going to be that guy who shows up. So let's talk about the very first thing that women should be looking for. Now, ladies, you're not going to like it. You're going to be upset because my number 4 is actually there for a reason. And you probably think it should be number 1. But I know it shouldn't be. And we'll get to that when we get to that. But the number 1 thing you should always be looking for in a man, whether you're online dating, whether you're out and about, even while you're on the date, even while you're in the relationship, gentlemen, this is the key to relationship success on your part, is effort. Ladies, put this in your mind. Effort is everything. A man's effort tells you how into you he is. Now, there might be a time when maybe somebody you really like and he really likes you back, he's just too busy. Well, guess what? Let him have a break. Let him go to the back burner, as I like to call it. He's not in the front burner anymore because his effort kind of dwindles. We want to be courted as women. Am I right? We want to know that somebody wants us. We want to be hunted. We want to be cherished. We want a man who will put the effort in. And that's really what we're looking for. So ladies, how do you know if he's putting the effort in? It's simpler than you think. You often just dismiss it because you really want a guy to like you. You really want this certain guy to like you, and he's really not putting the effort. So you poo-poo it and just say it's not a big deal, but you know it's a big deal deep down. And then you also know the guy who's putting in a lot of effort, but you're really not that into him. So make sure that you date like an adult and let him know, hey, you're great. You're just not my one. That way he can move on and give the right girl his effort. So his effort's going to look like this. He is going to contact you. He's going to text you good morning. He's going to set up dates. And now, not every date, but you're going to see these efforts. He's going to check in on you. He's going to send you a meal when he knows you're really busy. He's going to cherish and value your free time. He's going to find out when you're free. He's going to ask about your kids. His effort is all encompassing. It should encompass all of your life, because your life will be valuable to him because his effort means he wants you. And that is what you need to be looking for. There's lots of other things you think you want: attraction, good looks. At the end of the day, all of those can fade. All of that can fade away. But if a man's effort is there from the start, then that is a good thing, because we've all been in relationships where people get not only comfortable, which I'm okay with comfortable, they get complacent and they get a little lazy, and so lazy that they're not putting effort in anymore. And that's where we draw the line, ladies. No. Comfortable one thing, complacent another. So if he's not putting in the effort, then he's just not that into you, or it's just not the right time. A lot of these alpha males that you like, well, they're alpha males for a reason. They work their buns off. It's very sexy. They're hardworking, and you like that. But you have to remember, you're also, he's a man on a mission with a drive. So you've got to be spectacular to fully push him away from that, or you've got to be flexible with that too. So Just know though as well, when I do say effort, it doesn't mean that he makes every single plan. Ladies, you've got to understand that men, you have to come up to an agreement of he makes a few dinner plans and you make the rest. Maybe you have more free time. Maybe you're more vested into the cool restaurants. Work with the person you're dating and see whose interest is where. I know in the past with relationships I've had, I plan 80% of the things because I love planning them and I love finding cool places. And then he'll plan 20% special and they're probably just for me. Or maybe he has a car show he wants to go to, so that's his plan and I come along. But for the most part, I enjoy doing the planning and I don't expect my man who's working his buns off to do all of that. But his effort is still there and he shows up with effort. So when you show up, guys, when you show up, ladies, there should be an effort and an excitement as well. All right, so remember, effort is everything. Number 2, do you guys laugh together? I mean, come on. I lived in Minnesota for a while. And Minnesota is just good people. And I'm from the LA area. So you move to Minnesota and you get these experiences where you're literally at church and the ladies come over, the older ladies of the church, and they're like, sweetheart, you should come over for supper. And I'm thinking, supper? What's supper? I've never had supper before. But they literally invite you over and they do it within a really quick time span. They're like, well, how about next Sunday? We're in LA. What do we say? Oh, let's get coffee. Yeah. And then nothing ever happens. And then you go to their house and they make fresh rolls and it just smells delicious. And you see family photos everywhere and you see this old couple. And I can think of this specific old couple. When couples are together so long, they look like each other. And this couple just laughed together. They sat across from the dinner table. The whole family was around. We were invited. Watching them laugh and just enjoy their lives was so special. And to this day, decades later, I remember that. And I think at the end of the day, that's where you have to be with someone. Do they make you laugh? Do you enjoy your time with them? Or is there frustration? Is there a lot of fighting? If there's a lot of fighting, that is not your person. That I can tell you this right now because I've dated guys where I fought a lot and I've dated guys where I didn't fight. And it's a personality thing. I can tell you this too. My oldest son and I, we fight. We're very much alike. We'll go claw to claw. But my youngest son and I never fight. He's very calm. He's quick to understand what I'm saying. My oldest was quick to give his own opinions. So at the end of the day, you really need to find a peace in your heart with someone. Do you enjoy the same things? Are you laughing? Are you doing life together well? Okay, I don't care how hot he is, ladies. I don't care how much money he has. I have dated guys with beach houses, sat there just festering because they weren't paying me any attention. They weren't giving me effort. And you know what? I don't give two ticks about this beach house, because if I'm going to be sitting in a beach house with you and not even enjoying you, why would I want to stay? So keep that in mind. Do you laugh together? And again, you don't have to be silly. I mean, silly is always fun, but it's a giggle between you two. Like, I have dated guys that aren't real boisterous. They're not real gregarious, but between me and him, we had our own jokes and they were goofy with me and it was really quite adorable. So give a guy a chance to find that vulnerability with you, to be kind of that sweet, silly guy. And you might be very surprised. It doesn't happen on a first date. And actually, if it did, you might want to question that guy. So give a guy a chance. All right, number 3, and this is big, is reality. Does reality even work? This goes to core values, you guys. Do your politics line up? Do your values of gender roles line up? Do your values of child raising line up? Now, I am post-divorced and I was raising my kids alone and I really didn't want to add anybody in the mix. So for me, I knew that the reality was if somebody wanted to get remarried real quick with me, that was not what I was looking for. And as a matter of fact, on my 2-2-5 schedule, some of you in the divorce world, you know these words, it's 2 days on, 2 days off, and then every other weekend, which actually works out great. It's one of my favorites. You had to work with my reality of that. And on top of that, I live in LA. LA traffic, to see someone could be an hour, 2 hours, which almost seems daunting. I'd rather, and I've done this, I'd rather date 2 hours away on a flight. What I like about that is then I can schedule my time versus being 2 hours away on a drive. Someone might say, well, can you come up tonight? Then there's the pressure. You have to really look at the reality. Do you want to be with their kids? Do you like their kids? Do you think they like your kids? Do you like their lifestyle? Are they more beachy? Are they more a winter home kind of person? Do they go to church every week and want you to do that too? There's so many details in reality that you really need to get your head on straight for. The idea that opposites attract, they do, but do they last is the bigger question. So really focus on what reality, what lifestyle, what dream goals do you have? I know me, I'm a beach girl. I'm not a 5 days skiing kind of vacay girl. And so I know that I don't want to date a guy that's real big into that because it's just not my dream. Now, if he likes to do that and go to St. Thomas, I'm in, okay? I will flex for him and he will flex for me. But nonetheless, if that's his thing, he's a mountain guy, I probably, as much as I love the mountains, I couldn't do it full time. I know that's not the reality that I want. I want the reality near a beach, close to the smell of the ocean. The ocean is everything to me. So as silly as that might seem, and maybe, well, Katy, that's just you want to live by the ocean. Sure, everybody wants to live by the ocean. I'm already close to the ocean. So it's my next goal and dream is that lifestyle, and that reality has to mix in with my choices of who I'm going to date. And here's number 4, ladies. This is the drum roll. Guys, you're gonna not like this one. Number 4 thing every woman should be looking for is chemistry. I know you're going, what, Katy? Why is this so far down the list? Guys are like, what? That's the number 1 thing I look for. Yes, guys, I understand chemistry is huge for you. You're visual. You need fit and fun. But ladies, this is why. Because you get your emotions wrapped into a guy because of the chemistry, and then you go cuckoo over him because he isn't really that into you because his effort's minimal, but the chemistry was high. I've seen this time and time again with clients. A client dated a guy for 4 years. They lived together. He would get upset with her and he'd leave for 2 weeks. That's terrible communication. That's a reality I don't want to ever live in. For one, his effort for those 2 weeks was super disgusting, I'm going to say. Disgusting. He wouldn't talk to her for 2 weeks. He would just go disappear. On top of that, when she had a big leak in her house, he didn't even come to help fix it. He said he was busy. You date someone for 4 years and he's too busy to come fix your leak? I mean, sure, send somebody then, but he didn't even do that. So that's where you question, well, then why were you with him? And of course, her answer was, oh, Katy, the sex was great. Katy, he had such charisma. Katy, he was charming. And what? And then what? Because if push comes to shove, if you get super sick, if you're in the hospital, if you need help right away, is he there? Now, you can date that guy, but I'm not going to support it. And when you come crying back, you're going to say, Katy, I should have watched his true effort. It was never really there. Now, be careful. There could be the guy who love bombs you, and we need to be careful with that word, but love bombing will usually fade within 3 weeks to 3 months. And if it fades away, then they're just love bombing you, and their effort was minimal anyway. We've got to give people time to really show their true colors. So let's go over these one more time. Ladies, the number 1 thing you're going to be looking for is his effort. Effort is everything. Number 2, do you guys laugh together? Do you enjoy? Do you have fun? I mean, it might not be fireworks, and it shouldn't be fireworks because that's not reality. This isn't a Disney movie. But do you enjoy each other? Does it flow well? Is it easy? Relationships shouldn't be hard, but they should be work. So remember that. If everything is hard in this relationship, it might not be your best fit. Number 3, does reality make sense? Okay? Make your list, do's and don'ts, what I want and what I don't want, what I will put up with and what I won't put up with, right? And then stick to that. Unless you decide to change a little bit, but get laser focused about the reality of the next life you want to live, of the married life, of the long-term relationship life, of the post-divorce life. What does that look like to you? Get really clear about that. And number 4, you should be looking for chemistry. And chemistry doesn't always come on a first date. Men get nervous. Give him a chance. He might romance you. Chemistry in a couple can grow. And a lot of it has to do with what's between our ears, right? So teaching him what you like, talking to him, and then he can kind of crock-pot you up is what I like to say. You know, you're a crock-pot. He's going to learn what you like. And if he's putting in the effort to learn what you like, which we love because he's putting in the effort, then that chemistry is going to grow and build. So these 4 things are going to keep you focused on finding the right guy. We'd also love to get you in our database at sync.com. That's CINQE.com. When you're in our database, we will be looking at your photos. We'll be looking at your bio. What kind of person are you? What kind of lifestyle are you looking for? And we want to make sure that we are pairing you up with our clients, that it's going to be a great fit. So guys, go check that out, sync.com, CINQE.com. I'm also on Instagram. It's also in my link tree. Check out Dating with Katy. Guys, if you like this, share it with a friend. Share it with a single friend. like and subscribe, and we will be tuning in for more of Dating with Katy.